Draft Combine starts today, runs through the weekend. Abdul Carter presumed to be the number one pick to the Titans, although he's got some foot problems he's dealing with. A lot of speculation about where Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward will go as the quarterbacks of this draft, but Shedeur says he doesn't plan to work out at the Combine, and there'll be a couple of Tigers there as well. CJ, I'm wondering for you, brother, like I said, you're a man of many talents. What event do you think you'd do best at the Draft Combine?
A funny question. I put that on our chat question today, and the people in the Jessica Benson Show chat voted 40% of them. 40%. That's damn near half. Voted that I'd probably do best at the drug test, right? Like that's probably it, man. I know I could pass one of those. I've passed a bunch of those before. That's the event I do the best at. My test will come back so damn clean. I am telling you. Damn the 40, forget the bench press. I can't bench 225. I've never been able to bench 225. I'm slow. I'm not agile. It's either the drug test or the Wonderlic. I flunked out of pharmacy school twice. And the reason they gave me the second chance is because I did really, really well on the PCAT, which is the entrance exam in the pharmacy school. I scored better than I still have it. I still have that, like a printout of it to show people. It's one of my cool little party tricks. I was in the 83rd percentile, 84th percentile on the MCAT. I was like 90 percentile reading comprehension, and that's all the Wonderlic really is hey, read this and do you comprehend it? So I could do well on the test, the drug test or the Wonderlic. Don't make me do nothing physical, man. I can't handle that. What about you?
I'm glad to know that your football knowledge is up there to handle that Wonderlic test. I would say probably like the quickness drills. Give me like the 3-cone drill, something like that. Yeah. I was always quick, but not like fast, like when you say fast, you're thinking, oh, this guy runs like a, 4.3, 4.4, if we're talking about the NFL draft combine, right? Like, I think the fastest 40 I ever ran was like a 4.7, and that would have been when I was like a sophomore in high school. And at that point, I was getting to the point where I was like, I mean, it was okay. I got to the point where I realized, like, I'm not playing college ball, man. I'm not running any more 40. So forever, that will be like my cap out. I have benched 225 before, when I was in my, I'm gonna live in the gym kind of moment. And I could probably get you a good two reps at 225.
That's better than me. That's better than me.
That's about all I got. I don't think I can still do that anymore, but who knows? And when it comes to the draft, this is kind of one of those weird NFL drafts where it doesn't seem like we care. I mean, we do care about, it seems like so much of what happens in the NFL as far as free agency goes, Matthew Stafford and whatever he got going on with Tom Brady and them Raiders, like wherever those
they accidentally
met each other at the, I don't believe any of that. But it seems like we're dealing with a lot of that in order to know where these drafted quarterbacks are going to go and some of these other guys. What do you think about what some of that chatters look like?
First off, it's hilarious that Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady just accidentally run into one another at one of the more exclusive ski resorts in the nation.
Rich people resort.
Like that's pretty damn funny. 2, my fastest 40 was a 5.2, so you got me blown out the water, right? And 3, it is. This is how it works in the NFL, where we're going to, at the end of the season, see if we can't get the biggest, hottest free agent or tradable quarterback name that we can if we're high up in the draft. And if we can, great. We're set at the quarterback position, and we're not going to be looking for the quarterback position early in the draft. We'll look for it a little bit later, and that allows us to do some things differently in the draft. Last year, the Falcons did that. They end up going out there and getting Kirk Cousins in a trade I think free agency. I can't remember.
Don't remind me of my Falcons right now.
Then they draft Penix, right? Like
right, So, then they draft Penix.
But that's the other part to this also. Just because you get Sam Darnold, just because you get Matthew Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, those are the 3 big quarterback names that are out there this season. That doesn't mean that your team won't still draft one of these top quarterbacks, because the Falcons did it last year, and it does happen from time to time. I feel like the Colts did it with Richardson when he was drafted, where they went out and they got Matty Ice, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Matty Ice.
Was it Flacco?
Matthew Ryan. It was Matt Ryan, and then it became Joe Flacco after the fact. Yes.
Right. So they went out Matt Ryan and then end up somewhere or another grabbing Richardson. So it is interesting. I think that absolutely, if Stafford just accidentally ends up on the Raiders, for example, just an example,
right?
That would probably take them out of the Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes. I would think so. But the way that Shedeur is being positioned in draft boards, it feels like he is dropping some. So the Raiders could theoretically accidentally get Matthew Stafford, trade out of that pick, and grab Shedeur later in the draft. Like that's still a possibility. It is draft season, baby. All of these things could possibly happen. There are no wrong answers when it becomes to draft questions this early into draft season, or this time of the year in draft season.
Yeah, all the pieces are kind of all over the place when it comes to the NFL draft right now. What I think is interesting, to your point, is these free agent quarterbacks that are out there right now are definitely going to affect where these really, really good high-end rookie quarterbacks get drafted, because I see the Raiders. Because they have Tom Brady, it seems like everything they do has an air of legitimacy to it now. So I could see them landing a Matthew Stafford in free agency. It just seems to me like he would still be kind of a bridge quarterback, and he's going to be a really expensive bridge quarterback. And so if that is the case, do you pick him up and still come behind and grab a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward? I don't think Cam Ward's still going to be there by the time the Raiders get there. I think Shedeur could be there. I kind of like either one of them with the New York Jets, just simply because they both seem, and Shedeur in particular seems like he is going to be somebody who can handle those bright lights in a city like New York. And there's runway, right? They still have a pretty good roster over there in New York. Even the last year was kind of a disaster for the Jets, but I can still see them having a really good couple of seasons and allowing that rookie quarterback to kind of grow into his own. So I would be interested to see what happens there. The Giants are a mess. Whoever's there, they need to go get because they're absolutely terrible. But let's talk about these Memphis Tigers that are going to be in this draft. How do we localize the NFL draft? Because what we do as a local station, we localize everything. We talk about the Memphis Tigers that are in it, and former Tiger quarterback Seth Henigan and former Tiger receiver Rock Taylor will both be at the NFL Combine. Henigan holds every quarterback record there is to hold at Memphis, over 14,000 yards, 104 touchdown passes in his career. Only 15 quarterbacks have ever done that, 4-year starter. Rock Taylor has been at Memphis the last 3 years. He's a 1,000-yard season as a junior, 950 yards as a senior. They're going to try to impress the scouts and hear their name called in April. CJ, you've been in Memphis quite a long time. You've been able to watch these guys the last couple of years. What do you think they have to prove? How do you think they fare in the Combine and maybe later in the draft?
I think they have everything to prove, and the Combine is going to be important for them because it's the relationships that they will start building in the NFL with front office executives who are probably, I would guess, I hadn't seen them on any of the mock drafts that I've looked at. They're probably like free agent signings. They're probably rookie free agent signings, I would think. And that is, hey, come be on the practice squad. Come show us what you can do in the preseason. And some of that is about the relationships that you can build here right now at the Combine. The interviews will be so very, very important for both of them. We know what they can do. We've seen it all on tape. Like you said, Seth Henigan got all of the major records a quarterback could have and or want at the University of Memphis. Rock Taylor has had some truly special moments at the university as well. So it's all on tape. It is going to be, hey, does this player's personality fit into our locker room? Is this a player worth trying to bring in and seeing what they can and can't do? Are they going to be willing to make sacrifices to be on this roster? And that's going to be very, very important for both of those guys.
Yeah, I hear everything you're saying right there. I think especially for Rock Taylor more than I think Seth Henigan, I think he will be more of a free agent pick up, come be on our practice squad, see what you can do. He's got great size. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. One season of 1,000 yards, nearly had a second one last year, 7 touchdown catches. Big body receiver, and one of those guys who's kind of been a really good possession receiver for the Tigers, even though maybe you don't think of him that way because of he's not the fastest and not necessarily doing those short intermediate routes, but he's a guy that, you can throw the ball to him on a third down and he'll go and get it. And I think that's going to be a valuable skill set to have in the NFL. When it comes to Seth Henigan, he doesn't have quite the arm strength, but he's been incredibly accurate over his whole career. He's one of those guys that I think he leads a huddle in an offense well. We talked a little while ago when I had Gabe Kuhn on the show just about how Seth has the ability to take a group of guys and make them cohesive really fast. And he's done that over the course of his career. We saw him at the Reese's Senior Bowl and how he was the third or fourth quarterback that gets brought in there, but then he goes like 10 of 14, leads a touchdown to win the game, touchdown drive to win the game. Those are the kind of things that I think will be valuable for him. I don't necessarily see him being a starting quarterback in the NFL, but hey, man, the best job in the NFL is backup QB, right? If he could be, one of these starting QBs backup, you come in, you can learn for a year or two. You come in and throw some spot drives. Maybe you kill some garbage time. I think Seth wouldn't mind that for a couple of years. He says he wants to be a coach one day. No better place to learn how to be a coach than, behind somebody else and learning from an offensive coordinator and a quarterback's coach and that kind of thing. I think both of these guys could have some really cool futures in the NFL. And I think as we've watched the last couple of drafts, we've had some Tigers be successful the last couple of years. Think about Blake Watson landing with the Broncos last season and how he had a little bit of success in that spot reserve role. Kind of beat out some guys that they didn't think was going to be on the 53-man roster at the time when he got into training camp. So I think it could be really cool to see what they do. Obviously, they mean a lot to the Memphis community, just what they've been able to deliver and what they've done over the last couple of years.
Rock's got good size, like you said, and that's somebody who can be used in a lot of different ways on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that he might be able to break through as a special teams darling, as a special teams star, and that's how he latches on to a roster. And then boom, it is okay. Now he's here. He's in practice every day. We gotta send him through some receiver drills. He could be our fourth wide receiver, and injuries or something like that pops off, and he moves up the depth chart and then showcases what he can really do. Because he's super versatile, and you're spot on about Henigan and his ability to bring teams together. We saw it here at Memphis. A lot of transfers in, a lot of transfers out. The constant the past 4 or 5 years has been Seth Henigan, and that's what's been driving that offense primarily. I look forward to seeing what his career is going to look like.